Today on General Hospital, Lulu prevents Britt from contacting Rocco, Portia makes a change of plans, and Brad runs into Lucas and Britt at the hospital. Britt reads Rocco's text about his community service, and Liz scolds her for once again using her phone for personal use on duty. Lucas appears with the letter of recommendation for Britt, but when she reads it, she hates it because it makes her seem like a cold robot. Lucas says she's an excellent doctor, but a horrible human. Lucas walks off, and Britt mumbles that she hopes Brennan comes through for her. She then sends Rocco a text thanking him for updating her. Later, Liz tells Lucas the letter was a nice thing he did for Britt, and like it or not, she's an excellent doctor. Lucas jokes that Liz just doesn't want to be her supervisor any longer. Curtis stops by to see Portia, who won't be going home with him as agreed. She's thought about it and doesn't feel it's the best idea, and it will be less stressful for her and the baby to go back to the Metro Court. Curtis accepts her decision. He's heading to Willow's trial, so she asks him to keep her updated, as she worries one of them will be thrown under the bus later. Brad appears in Portia's room and says he hears congratulations are in order. She asks what he's doing here. He says he missed her and his friends, but she guesses he ran through all of Drew's money. She tells him that he has nothing left on her, but he says he could still tell people what he knows, and it's a great story. Isaiah bursts in and orders Brad out. Brad leaves, and Portia warns Isaiah to be careful around Brad, who has a talent for sniffing out secrets. If he finds out about them, it would be disastrous. Isaiah changes the topic to her bed rest and learns she's not going home with Curtis and her daughter. He suggests they go back to their original plan and let him take care of her and the baby at his cabin. Lucas steps off an elevator and runs right into Brad. Lucas is surprised to see him. Brad explains he just got back today, and traveling the world has been exhausting. He asks about Lucas' personal life, and Lucas says he and Marco, his boyfriend, have moved in together. Dante stops by Lulu's to see how Rocco is doing. Lulu says he's gone to school but seems to be no better mood today. Dante informs her of Gio's visit, and they're calling a truce for Rocco's sake. They discuss doing the tree stuff here as a family, and Lulu feels Rocco deserves a nice Christmas surrounded by family. Well, she probably just jinxed that. Dante must get to the courthouse, as he is being called to testify. Lulu will be there covering the news. After Dante leaves, Rocco's tablet pings, and Lulu sees the texts between him and Britt. Later at the hospital, Lulu confronts Britt and tells her to stay away from her son after their usual bickering. Lulu says she's blocking her number from Rocco's phone, and that's just the beginning. When Britt later tries to text Rocco, she finds out she's been blocked. In Alexis' office, Christina brings her mom some tea to relax her as she goes over her opening statement. Willow and Drew arrive, and Christina jets. Alexis tells them that while Willow won't be on the stand, everyone will be watching her. Therefore, she can't show anger or lose control, as it will paint her as unstable and capable of shooting Drew. At the Quartermain mansion, Michael thinks about being parked outside of Drew's the night he was shot. Tracy returns from a visit to the crypt, where she assured Monica she'd do everything she could to protect him in court today. Michael doesn't like the idea of Tracy having to perjure herself and swears he didn't shoot Drew. Tracy accuses him of hiding something, and he's as hard to read as her father was. She knows he will get on the stand and lie to protect his family, and she is willing to do the same. At the courthouse, Nina calls someone to make something happen right now as her daughter's future depends on it. Carly shows up and accuses her of arranging a flight to get Willow out of the country, but Nina says she was asking a friend to run positive press for Willow. Yeah, don't think so. This will probably backfire on Nina. Whatever it is, Nina taunts Carly that Willow will be exonerated, and the evidence against her isn't as solid as the prosecution thinks. Everyone begins to show up, and Nina tries to get a word in with Willow, claiming it's important. But Willow tells her it will have to wait. Mom Willow walks into court and gets stared down by Carly, Michael, and Tracy. Curtis arrives and breaks the news to Trina that her mom isn't coming home with them as planned. The trial begins. And Lulu arrives and sits by Dante. He notes that she's agitated, and she says she'll tell him about it later. Justine makes her opening statement that Willow had motive, means, and opportunity to shoot Congressman Kane. She argues that Drew seduced Willow away from her husband and family, thereby destroying her life and her ability to see her kids, causing her to mental breakdowns. Justine further argues that the murder weapon was found where she was staying, and they have footage of Willow driving to the congressman's house that night. The facts are clear. Willow shot the congressman and left him for dead. At the hospital, Liz goes to check on Portia, only to find she's checked out. In the halls, Britt runs into Brad and says, "As I live and breathe." He says he heard she's been doing both those things and can't believe his best friend let him think she was dead. For tears, she apologizes and asks if he can forgive her. He will consider it if she watches the Oscars and red carpet coverage with him in March. She says her fridge is stocked with Rocky Road, and he says all is forgiven. They hide back in court. Alexis gives her statement and acknowledges that Willow's life was fractured and a mess back when Drew was shot. But it was because of Michael, who kept their children from her out of jealousy, that she left him for his uncle. Dante gets a message and steps out, as Alexis states Willow didn't shoot Drew, and the PCPD, in desperation to get a suspect in the shooting of a congressman, excluded all other potential suspects. She argues there are suspects who had an actual motive to want to kill Drew. Next, on General Hospital, Jason turns to Joss for help, and Alexis objects to the new evidence Justine presents.